The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn, 1925. Part 1. The Game. Life is a game, and like any game, it must be played according to certain rules to be won. Most people play the game of life badly because they do not understand the rules, which are simple and clearly stated in spiritual teachings throughout the ages. The game of life is the game of giving and receiving, for what you give out returns to you multiplied. Your every thought and word is a move in the game, and the results you experience are the direct consequence of the moves you have made. To play the game successfully, you must learn to control your thoughts and words, using them to create the conditions you desire rather than the conditions you fear. The universe operates on immutable laws, and when you align yourself with these laws, you cannot fail to win. The power of the word is the most creative force in the universe, and you are using it constantly whether you realize it or not. Every word you speak sets a vibration in motion, and that vibration attracts circumstances that correspond to its nature. If you speak of lack, you attract lack. If you speak of abundance, you attract abundance. Your words are like seeds planted in the soil of the universe, and they must bring forth after their kind. The man who says, "I am tired and exhausted," attracts more fatigue, while the woman who declares, "I am full of energy and life," attracts vitality. You must become a careful gardener of your speech, planting only the seeds you wish to harvest. The game of life is played in the mind, and your thoughts are the players that determine your fate. Every thought you think is a prayer, and it is answered by the law that governs the universe. If you think thoughts of lack, you pray for lack, and lack you will receive. If you think thoughts of abundance, you pray for abundance, and abundance will flow to you. The key is to hold steadily to the vision of what you want, refusing to be swayed by appearances or circumstances. Your imagination is your creative workshop, and the pictures you hold in your mind become the blueprints for your life. See yourself as successful, healthy, and happy, and you will become so, for the universe can only give you what you first give to yourself in thought. Part 2. The Law of Prosperity. Prosperity is your birthright, and the universe is infinitely abundant, ready to supply all your needs and desires. The only thing standing between you and prosperity is your own consciousness of lack, your belief that there is not enough to go around. God is the source of all supply, and God's supply is inexhaustible, but you can only receive according to your capacity to receive. If your consciousness is limited, your supply will be limited. If your consciousness expands, your supply expands with it. You must cultivate a prosperity consciousness, a deep and abiding conviction that all good comes to you freely and abundantly from the universal source. Giving is the secret to receiving, for the universe operates on the principle of circulation. If you hoard what you have, you stop the flow, and your supply dries up. If you give freely and joyfully, you open the channel for more to come to you. The tithe, giving 1/10 of your income to God's work, is a powerful practice that opens the floodgates of abundance. But you must give with a joyful heart, not grudgingly or out of obligation. For the attitude with which you give determines what you receive. Give thanks for what you have, and more will be given. Complain about what you lack, and even what you have will be taken away. Do not look at appearances, for appearances are often deceptive and show you only the evidence of past thoughts. If your outer world seems bleak, it is only reflecting your past thinking, and you can change it by changing your thoughts now. The person of faith does not wait to see results before believing. They believe first, and then results appear. You must be like the farmer who plants a seed and then waits in confidence for the harvest, knowing that the earth will bring forth its increase. Your word is the seed you plant, and the law of the universe is the soil in which it grows. Have faith in the law, and your harvest will surely come. Part 3. The Power of the Word. Your word has creative power, and you must use it with wisdom and precision. Every word you speak goes forth into the universe and sets in motion forces that will bring it to pass. This is why the Bible says that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. When you speak words of fear, you create fearful experiences. When you speak words of faith, you create favorable circumstances. You must learn to speak only what you want to see manifested, never giving voice to your fears or doubts. Affirmations are powerful tools for reprogramming your consciousness and aligning your thoughts with your desires. An affirmation is a statement of truth that you declare, regardless of appearances, until it becomes your reality. I have a wonderful work in a wonderful way, and I give wonderful service for wonderful pay, is an affirmation that has brought prosperity to countless people. When you affirm, you are not begging or praying to an external deity. You are claiming your inheritance from the universal source. The more you affirm, the more your consciousness accepts the truth of your words, and the more your outer world conforms to your inner vision. Never affirm anything for yourself that you are not willing to see manifested in others, for the law works for all alike. If you wish for success, you must be willing to see others succeed. If you wish for love, you must be willing to see others loved. Jealousy and envy close the channel of supply, for they are denials of the abundance that is meant for all. You must rejoice in the good fortune of others, knowing that their good is proof that good exists and can come to you as well. There is enough for everyone, and another's success does not diminish your own. Part 4. The Law of Non-Resistance. The law of non-resistance is one of the most powerful principles in the game of life, yet it is the least understood. To resist a thing is to give it power over you, to fix it in place and ensure its continuation. If you resist a condition, you energize it and make it stronger, for your attention flows into whatever you oppose. The way to overcome an undesirable condition is to ignore it, to withdraw your attention from it, and place it on what you desire instead. This is not passivity or weakness, but the highest form of spiritual strength, for it requires faith that the power of good is greater than any appearance of evil. When someone injures you or speaks against you, the natural impulse is to defend yourself and strike back. But this only prolongs the conflict and gives your opponent power over you. The wise player turns the other cheek, not from weakness, but from the knowledge that the law will handle the situation far better than they can. When you refuse to resist, you put the matter in the hands of the universe, and the universe always brings about justice. The person who attacked you will reap what they have sown, and you will be protected and prospered. Forgiveness is the practical application of non-resistance, for when you forgive, you release the person who wronged you from the debt you feel they owe. Unforgiveness binds you to the person and the incident, keeping the wound open and allowing it to continue affecting your life. When you forgive, you cut the cord that ties you to the past and free yourself to move forward. You do not forgive for the other person's sake, but for your own, for only through forgiveness can you open the channel for good to flow into your life. As you forgive, so shall you be forgiven, and the law returns to you the freedom you have granted to others. Part 5. The Law of Karma and the Law of Forgiveness. The law of karma is the law of cause and effect, the universal principle that whatever you send out returns to you. This is not punishment, but simply the working of an impersonal law, like the law of gravity. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take sets a cause in motion, and that cause must produce its effect. You cannot escape this law any more than you can escape the law of gravity, but you can learn to use it to your advantage by sowing only good seeds. The person who understands karma does not fear it, but works with it, knowing that they can create any future they desire by the thoughts they think and the deeds they do today. The law of forgiveness is higher than the law of karma, for it cancels debts and releases you from the effects of past mistakes. When you forgive, You break the chain of cause and effect, allowing grace to enter where justice would otherwise prevail. This is why all great spiritual teachings emphasize forgiveness, for it is the key to freedom from the past. You must forgive yourself as well as others, releasing the guilt and regret that keep you bound to old patterns. The past is gone and cannot be changed, but through forgiveness, you can neutralize its effects and begin anew. Never condemn yourself for past mistakes, for condemnation only strengthens the patterns you wish to break. You did the best you could with the understanding you had at the time, and now you know better. Accept yourself completely with all your imperfections and turn your attention to the future you wish to create. The universe does not hold your past against you. Only you do that through your refusal to forgive. Let go of the past completely, as if it never happened, and watch how quickly your life transforms. Part 6. Casting the Burden. Casting the burden is the spiritual practice of giving your problems over to a higher power and trusting that they will be handled perfectly. Most people carry their burdens constantly, worrying and fretting, trying to figure out solutions with their limited human minds. This only exhausts them and keeps the problems alive, for worry is a form of prayer for what you do not want. When you cast your burden, you consciously release it into the hands of the universe, knowing that infinite intelligence knows the perfect solution and will bring it to pass. To cast your burden effectively, you must let it go completely, refusing to take it back into your mind. This is like mailing a letter. Once you drop it in the box, you do not keep reaching in to retrieve it. You trust that it will reach its destination, and you go about your business. In the same way, when you give a problem to God, you must trust that it is being handled and refuse to worry about it anymore. If the worry thoughts return, gently release them again, affirming that the situation is in perfect hands and all is well. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, and it is the currency of the spiritual realm. When you cast your burden, you must have faith that it has been received and that the answer is on its way. You do not need to know how the answer will come or when. You only need to trust that it will. Signs of the answer may not appear immediately, for there is always a time of gestation between the planting of the seed and the harvest. During this time, you must remain steadfast in faith, giving thanks as if you had already received, and the manifestation will surely appear. Part 7. Love. Love is the greatest power in the universe, the force that holds all things together, and the key to mastering the game of life. When you love, you align yourself with the creative principle of the universe, and everything comes to you easily and naturally. Love is not sentimentality or emotional attachment, but the recognition of the divine in all things, the willingness to see the good in everyone and every situation. The person who loves cannot be harmed, for they are protected by the very power they have invoked. Unconditional love is the highest form of love, the love that expects nothing in return and asks nothing of the beloved. This is the love of the sun, which shines on all alike, on the just and the unjust, without discrimination. When you love unconditionally, you are like the sun, radiating warmth and light to all, and you draw to yourself all that is good and beautiful. Conditional love, which loves only when its conditions are met, creates separation and suffering. You must learn to love without conditions, to see the divine in everyone regardless of how they treat you, and in doing so, you become a magnet for all that is good. Love is the fulfilling of the law, for when you love, you automatically fulfill all spiritual principles. You do not need to worry about karma or forgiveness or non-resistance if you simply love, for love includes them all. The person who loves cannot hate, cannot envy, cannot fear, for love casts out all that is unlike itself. Your goal in the game of life is to become an instrument of love, to let love flow through you to everyone you meet. As you do this, you will find that life becomes simple and joyful, and all good things come to you without effort. Part 8. Intuition or guidance. Intuition is your direct line to universal intelligence, the still small voice that guides you in all your affairs. Everyone has intuition, but most people have drowned it out with the noise of their own thoughts and the opinions of others. To receive guidance, you must learn to be still, to quiet your mind and listen. The answers you seek are already within you, waiting to be heard, but you cannot hear them while your mind is chattering with fear and doubt. Take time each day to sit in silence, to open yourself to the wisdom that is always available. The first thought that comes to you after you have quieted your mind is often the guidance you seek. This is not the product of reasoning or logic, but a flash of inspiration that comes from a deeper source. You must learn to trust these impressions and act on them, even when they seem illogical or contrary to conventional wisdom. The person who follows their intuition is led by a power that knows the way, while the person who relies solely on logic is limited by what they can figure out with their finite mind. Intuition will lead you to the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances, often in ways you could never have planned. Signs and synchronicities are the universe's way of confirming that you are on the right path. When you are in alignment with your intuition, you will notice meaningful coincidences, chance encounters that are not chance at all. These are guideposts along your way, confirming that you are being led and protected. Pay attention to them, give thanks for them, and let them increase your faith. The more you trust your intuition, the more guidance you will receive, and the more effortlessly you will navigate the game of life. Part 9. Perfect self-expression, or the divine design. You came into this world with a unique purpose, a divine design that only you can fulfill. This is your perfect self-expression, the work that you are meant to do and the person you are meant to be. When you are living your divine design, life flows easily and abundantly, for you are in alignment with your true nature. When you are living someone else's idea of what you should be, you struggle and strain, and nothing seems to work. Your task is to discover your divine design and then to have the courage to live it, regardless of what others may think. The way to discover your divine design is to follow your joy, to do what you love and love what you do. Your joy is your compass, pointing you toward your true purpose, for you would not have been given the desire for something without also being given the ability to achieve it. Do not worry about how you will make a living or whether anyone will pay you for your gift. Just follow your joy, and the supply will follow. The universe supports those who are fulfilling their purpose, for their success benefits everyone. When you do what you love, you are not competing with anyone, but expressing something unique that only you can contribute. Never compare yourself to others or try to copy their path, for their divine design is not yours. You have your own unique gifts and your own unique way of expressing them, and you dishonor your Creator when you try to be someone else. The person who tries to be someone else will always be second best, while the person who is authentically themselves is incomparable. Trust that you are exactly as you should be, with exactly the gifts you need, and set about expressing them fully. In doing so, you will find the success, happiness, and fulfillment that you seek. Part 10. Denials and Affirmations. Denials and affirmations are the tools you use to reprogram your consciousness and align your thoughts with truth. A denial is a statement that denies the power of appearances and affirms that they have no hold over you. I deny lack, I deny fear, I deny disease are statements that withdraw your attention from these conditions and neutralize their power. You do not deny the existence of the condition in the outer world, but its reality in the ultimate sense, its power to affect you. By denying, you loosen the hold that these conditions have on your consciousness and prepare the way for the good to enter. After denial comes affirmation, the positive statement of truth, that you wish to see manifested. I affirm abundance. I affirm peace. I affirm perfect health are statements that plant the seeds of what you desire in the soil of your consciousness. Affirmations must be spoken with conviction and feeling, not mechanically or doubtfully, for the power is in the faith behind the words. You must see in your mind's eye what you are affirming, feel it as already true, and give thanks for its manifestation. The more you affirm, the more your consciousness accepts the truth of your words, and the more your outer world conforms to your inner vision. You must be persistent in your denials and affirmations, for the old thought patterns are deeply ingrained and will try to reassert themselves. When fear or doubt arises, immediately deny its power and affirm the truth that contradicts it. Do this consistently, without wavering, and eventually, the new thought patterns will become habitual and the old ones will fade away. This is the work of transformation, and it requires patience and dedication, but the results are worth the effort, for you are literally creating a new life for yourself, one thought at a time. To show love and appreciation, like, share, and subscribe.